Hello Zenbees! It's time for a string safari. A string safari is a project where we create a Zentangle using a given string. And this is our string safari number 37. You can check out all our previous projects from this series in the playlist String Safari. I am Sandhya Manne. I'm an artist and a certified Zentangle teacher. In this channel, we talk about creating and practicing Zentangle, my own Zentangle inspired artworks and collectibles. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you do not miss out on any videos that I post here every Tuesdays and Fridays. Now let's get started with the project. I will be using a regular white square tile, a black pen, pencil and stub. So go grab your supplies and let's get started on with tangling now. Here's my white square tile, my 01 black micron, 08 black micron just in case if I need to add in more black, and of course I have my pencil here and my stub tip. So let's get started with our string today. It's string number 37 and we start with 4 dots on 4 corners. So we're going to start off with a border. So very gentle dots, make sure you have them really gentle. And now I'm going to connect the dots to make a border. So let's go ahead and do that again. Very gentle line, just enough for us to guide. Okay, so here it is. I've connected my dots to make a border and the string goes like this. I'm gonna make a smaller square inside, so maybe something like this. And then I am going to pull out a half circle or maybe an upside down U on both the sides. Right, so let's go ahead and do that. So I start somewhere here and go about like that, cutting through this square in the corner, and I repeat the same thing on this side as well. So I start somewhere here, cutting through this corner and right there. So this is my string. Okay, a very simple string. I just made my border, I created this inner square and we cut that on the corners with a semicircle like that on both the diagonally. So that is our string. So now let's get started with our first tangle, which is opus. So I'm going to do opus in this section here, just there. So opus goes like this. I start from here, pull out a line and kind of curve it up like that at the end. And I'm gonna make another one. This one is going in this direction, and I am gonna start off making these all along this line, right? So I'm going to go around making so you notice that I am actually crossing over an existing line. So this particular tangle, it kind of makes it look interesting, so we do break that rule for this. Okay, so now I have the space all covered with my lines. Now I'm going to go ahead and add an aura like this along that shape. So whatever shape it takes, I'm just going around that like that. Okay, so
So I make sure that I stay inside that square, and I don't really go out of that space. So here it is all done with the aura line. Now let's go in and add black to these teardrops. Okay, and then now I have the space that is left over after creating the aura line, right? So I'm going to fill this up with verbs or tipple like that, but you can add some other tangle as well, like so you can add a printum there, or maybe you can add lines or shatak kind of tangles. So basically we just want this area to be filled up. So take your time and go about adding some fun tangle here. So that is done. I'm going to go around and add some of these circles. Okay, so that is done. Again, I try and make sure that I stay in that square shape. So here it is all done. Now if you at any point feel that you have more space in between, you can always add a little aura like that and add in your inner tangle. So I think this is good enough space. I'm not going to do anything here. So I'm kind of happy with what I have here. So now I'm going to move to this section here. So here we are going to create perk. So I'm going to pull out some lines. So I start from here, from this corner, and I pull out a line to this corner, and I'm going to aura this as a double line. So my double line is connected, the top and the end. So I'm going to leave some space and continue on that. And I'm going to go around doing the same on this side as well. Okay, so I'm not going to make a definite line here on these two. I'm just going to stop right there, and let's start with our work here. So I'm going to start off with a nice big circle that is touching both the upper line and the bottom line, and I'm going to add another one right next to it, kind of stuck to the previous one, so it's all nicely stacked together. So go around adding your circles like that. You can also make elongated circles like or ovals, like something like this, and that's fine too. But I started off with this, so I'm going to continue with this. Okay, so here it is. Now I'm going to go back in and add my black in these teeny tiny gaps, because that really gives a good finish and kind of makes it look more more defined. So always remember to do that. Okay, so it is all done. I've added the black. Now I will be going out here a little later after I finish creating my triangle here, and then whatever gaps are there, we're going to go in to create a nice overlapping effect. So now for now I'm going to repeat the same thing here on the other side as well. So I start off from this corner and connect the other corner like that, and make an aura line that is connected at both the ends, and I'm going to pull out another line like this. So it's closer here and wider at this point, so it's closer to the top and wider at this point. Maybe I can add one more. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add my work. So take your time to do this, go really slow, and make sure you touch the upper line and the bottom line and kind of connect like that. Right, it is all done. I have added work on both sides, and as I said, we will get to this section a minute later. So let's start with adding tangles on these two sections. So we're going to start with flux here. So I start off like this from this corner. I pull a petal like that. I create my flux. Like that, and over here I I'm mindful of this pencil line, but I'm not going to restrict myself to that point. So I'm going to complete my flux, but just go slightly above that, and So that's what I'm going to do. Add flux like that. So now I'm going to start off from this side, so just to make sure that I covered both the sides. Okay, I'm purposely kind of going out into that space just to make it look like it's going to overlap. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and add more flux in this space here. So it doesn't matter which direction your the leaves are moving, but I just like them to be connected. Let's see, maybe I can fit in a teeny tiny one right there. Okay, so now I am going to go ahead and add a line end dot inside that. So I'm going to do this for each of my petal or leaf. Okay, and then of course I'm going to go back in and add in more tipples or fillers. You can just add black if that's what you want. That's totally fine. That would look cool with nice dark fillings. I'm just gonna add tipples because that's just my absolute go-to tangle. Okay. So here it is all done on one side. Now we're going to repeat the same thing here on this side. So again I start off from this corner and I'm going to pull out my petals onto this side. So like that, and continuing on this. So I'm going to start from this side now, just to make sure that so notice how I'm going into that space just a bit. Okay, so now I'm going to fill up this entire center part. Okay, so I'm now going to go ahead and add the lines and the dots on all of them and fill up these gaps with tipples. So that's all. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Completed on both sides. Now let's finish up work here. So I'm going to go around and adding it like that. So I just wanted to give that overlapping effect. So I'm going to do that on this side as well. So I try and kind of touch on both ends like this, and if I have something, I just pretend like I'm going behind. So of course I'll go back and add blacks, and I'll repeat the same thing on the other side as well. So I wanted this look of flux coming on top of perks like that, right? So okay, so let's finish all the pen work. All done. I love the way it looks, really busy and really fun. So we can either leave these two tiny triangles as is, or you can add lines that kind of just auras that space, like L's going around like that. I think I'm just going to leave it. I like the way it looks. I'm just going to give a good finish like that. Make sure that it's all, kind of connected, and I'm going to leave it like that. That's it. So now let's get to shading. So I am going to go over this like this and like that, just there, and I'm going to go along my flux like so. Okay, and over here as well, I am just going to go on the perk just on one side. So I'm just doing at the bottom like this. So I'm just adding the pencil here. So now I am going to blend this nice and good and pull out my graphite up to the center or something like that. I'm going to go ahead and make this slightly darker. Okay, so that's good, and I'm going to do that and just blend these perks. So there it is. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on this side as well. So I'm going to add my pencil along the flux on both sides like that, and I'm going to add my pencil again here, the bottom of the box. Okay, so let's just blend this. Okay, I'm going to add some more here, just a bit. Okay. Okay, so there it is, all done. Now I'm going to also add a bit of shading right at the bottom of my flux like this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pull this out like that. I'm going to do this for each and every petal, where I just pull it out like that, so it looks nice and dark right there. Gives a nice dimension. Like so. So let me just finish all of that. I'm super loving this. Very intricate looking yet simple tile, and I like this cylindrical shape that it's creating. So I am going to finish up with my initials. So I'm going to put my, okay, let's see, I think I can put my full on signature here, so I'm going to do that. There. Now let's journal this. So today's date is 2nd Feb 2021, and this is YouTube, and this is String Safari number 37, and we worked with Tangle Opus first, and then we went on to create our perk, and then we finished it up with Flux, right? So these are the 3 tangles that we used. Very simple tangles, my absolute favorite tangles, and they always create magic together. So there it is.
Hope you had fun on this safari with me. I would love to see your creations, so head on to our Facebook group Zenbees, where all the after party fun happens. Share your creations there and check out the works by other Zenbees. If you're sharing your works on social media, then please do tag me at Sandhya Manne or #Tangles with Sandhya, so I get to see your lovely works there, and I do stop by to comment. A quick note, these projects and these videos are for your personal use, and no part of this can be used for any kind of commercial purposes. To understand the Zentangle method and to get started on your own Zentangle journey, send me an email to get updates on my upcoming workshops or to schedule your private sessions. Slots for the month of February is now open. On Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. India time, I host a Zentangle mini project on my Instagram. So join me on my handle at Sandhya Manne and let's tangle together real time. To receive my weekly newsletter, click on the link Tangle Organizer in the description and get updates on my upcoming workshops and other fun projects that I do. It's time to show some love, so hit that like button and share the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, it's time to let me know how you enjoyed this project, so leave a comment because that really helps me plan out my next set of videos. I'll see you next on Friday in our Focus Flight series. Until then, remember to breathe and smile. See ya. Namaste.